Hey y'all, I'm Kelsey Browning, and I promised my readers at the Thankful for Romance celebration that I would do some Ask Kelsey videos after introducing all of our guest authors this week. So I'm back with my little handy dandy stack of cards, and if you saw the first set, this is a different set of questions. So Leanne Patton wanted to know how I come up with my characters and with my stories. And Leanne, this is a great question because all readers want to know this, and it is a question that all writers, they hate. Because the reality is we don't completely know where things come from. I like to tell people that I pull my story and character ideas out of the back of the toilet tank when I get my vodka out. But the reality is I pretty much just get the bottle out. Characters always come first for me. I'm a very character-driven writer. Can't plot my way out of a paper bag. So my characters many times will come to me from a little situation. Many of them come to me from country songs. As you can imagine, being from Texas, I listen to a lot of country music. And it'll be a little scenario where somebody who's had a heartbreak or whatever. So I don't know exactly where they come from. Sometimes I just know who I want to write about. And I've been telling my critique partners, I have a book that's in the draft stage right now in a new contemporary series, hopefully that'll start coming out next year, that I told them I wanted to write about an ex-gang member. And Alex has been in my mind for over 2 years. I don't know how he got there, but sometimes he doesn't let me sleep at night, and unfortunately not in the good kind of way. So, but thanks, Leanne. I don't know if that answers your question or not, but it's a hard one to answer. My most embarrassing moment. I have had legions of them, but probably my favorite, not really my favorite, but my favorite to tell is Tech Guy and I were flying to Italy with a group of Texas A&M former students. I used to work in the travel program there, and the cool thing about that is that I actually got to accompany people on trips all over the world. Tech Guy and I got food poisoning on a Lufthansa flight. Yes, I'm calling you out, Lufthansa. Bad scrambled eggs. So we get on the transport in Frankfurt. So you go from from the plane, and you have to get on a little trolley train thing to go to the terminal. I was so sick, and my husband knows me well enough, and he's like, "You're going to be sick, aren't you?" And I said, "Yes, I need something." And so he handed me a pair of socks, and I, as my mom would say, I upchucked into a sock. And I don't know about y'all, but a bowl is a way better choice if you ever have to be sick. Great moment in Kelsey's world. So Tracy Parker had several questions. She's an overachiever. How did I come up with this event? Well, I knew that the last Texas Nights Designed for Love was going to be coming out around Thanksgiving. And this is kind of a challenging time, honestly, y'all, for a book to come out, because we're all so consumed, as we should be, with plans with family and friends and celebrations and all that. So it's a really, really tough time to release a book. So I thought, well, let me do some stuff beforehand. Besides, I want to spend time with my guys this week as well, and not be worried about how my book is selling or not selling. So I decided it's a time in the U.S. to be thankful for so many things, and I'm super thankful for this community. I'm super thankful for what I get to sit down and do in my moose pants every day. So that's really the way I came up with it. And as far as some of the other stuff, I bounce a lot of ideas off of my friends. Nancy Nagel helped me with the bingo card, so y'all give her a big old shout out for that. We wouldn't have those without her. And some of the other ideas, what can I say? I'm just brilliant. How do I like sharing a street team with 4 other amazing authors? Love it, love it, love it. And those authors are Nancy Nagel, Adrienne Giordano, Tracy Devlin, and Tracy March. And it's great because they're all very talented ladies. They're all great writers, and it really helps to have a group so that when one of us is super busy or under deadline, we can still really pay attention to our readers and give them the love and hugs and kumbayas that they deserve. So I love it, and I've done a lot of collaborative stuff since I became an author like I've mentioned a couple times, I built Romance University with Tracy, Devlin, and Adrian. Nancy and I collaborate. We co-write a series together. I've got some other things coming up that I'm super excited about next year. So I love collaborative projects. Tracy also wanted to know if there was anyone else that I wanted to thank on video. Lord, that could take, another 10 minutes. But a couple things quickly. I do want to say thank you to the Dangerous Darlings. They do so much, not only for me, but for all 5 of us. So thank you for that, ladies and some guys. Obviously, I want to thank my husband and my son. They put up with a lot for me. Like this weekend, my husband went to the cabin. My son and I stayed home. My son pretty much brought me food and wine. Even had to get into the toilet tank once or twice for the bottle of vodka. That's a joke. That's a serious joke. I keep it in the cabinet. So obviously I want to thank them, because without them I couldn't do what I do with y'all and for y'all. So another question: are you as pretty in person as you are on video? Well, let me tell y'all. I've done something for y'all that I probably haven't done since 2006, and that is shower and fix my hair several days in a row. But the reality is all this that you see, I go to those clearance sales right after Halloween, and I get these great masks. So, but we're not going to do the Scooby-Doo thing. I'm not going to pull it off. Jennifer Stidham. Sorry, Jennifer, if I killed your name. Why the vehicles, why the cars and such on covers when usually there's like a nightclub or ranch or what have you? That really started with Personal Assets, which is the first book in the Texas Night series. And for those of you who have read it, you know that Cameron Wright, who is the hero, is a mechanic. And don't want to do any spoilers here, but his car, BB, which is a classic convertible Cadillac, is pretty much the love of his life before Ali Shelby, tears BB's bumper off. So Karina was great. They started the series with Cameron's car, and they've really kept that going. So if you've read the series, you know that there's some important things. Jamie has a car that he loves. It's a Corvette. It's a classic Corvette in the second book, and then Beck Childress is actually the chief deputy in book 3, Problems in Paradise. And they didn't get a cop car on there, but they put a truck. So, and he drives a truck when he's not in his police vehicle. And then on the last one, Mac McLaughlin, there's most of you haven't read the book yet, but I hope you will read it. He also drives a truck. All my guys have trucks too, but there's a motorcycle in the story, and it's a pretty pivotal piece. It's a pretty pivotal thing in the book, so that's the reason why. And I was super happy with those covers, and really, really appreciative that they kept them very much in line with one another. Another question: will I be selling the authors on sticks from the interviews, from the intros? Well, first of all, those were not sticks. They were they're kind of all stuck together right now, but they weren't sticks. They were actually pencils, Staples pencils. And honestly, that's the only thing that Staples pencils are good for. Sorry, Staples. You want a good pencil, you get yourself a Faber-Castell. I have mine imported because I got so addicted to them when we lived overseas. So they're actually authors not on sticks, but authors on pencils, which, I thought really made a lot of sense. The answer is yes. I would be happy to auction these things off to the highest bidder, not because I want to see my friends go, but because they kind of used up a lot of ink. And that's expensive, y'all. So this is going to conclude this Ask Kelsey session. And if I get more questions, I'll do another session. Thanks, y'all.